Today's video is on dividing fractions. To divide a fraction, it's the same thing as multiplying by the reciprocal of the number. For example, if I have 3 divided by 1/4, then I have 3 circles, each cut into fourths. So I end up with 12 pieces. Or if I flip this 1/4 over, it's like having 4 over 1 or just 4, and 3 times 4 is also 12. Will you please draw this example in your notebook? So I should see this and this as well as my drawing in your notebook. Okay, so let's move on to some more examples. You should have paused and copied that down. Find 1/3 of divided by 5. Okay, so let's first put a 1 under the 5 to make it a fraction. We do something called keep, change, change. So we're going to keep the first fraction, change the division to a multiplication, and remember we use a dot now for multiplication, and we change the 5 over 1 to a 1/5. Now we have a multiplication problem like the ones that we've done before. So I multiply everything in the numerator and then I multiply everything in the denominator, and I get 1/15 as my answer. I didn't simplify anything because 1 is already prime, so it can't be simplified. On the next one, I want you to copy this one down with me. So pause the video and write this one in your notebook, number 2. Okay, so we're going to write this down, 6/10, change the division problem into a multiplication, and then change the 3/4 into 4/3. Now let's write all of our numerators above and all of our denominators below. What of these can be simplified? Well, 6 and 10 share a 2 in common, so this can become a 3 and this can become a 5. 4 and 3 don't share anything in common. 4 and 5 don't, but 3 and 3 do. So I can simplify my 3's into 1's, and I get 4/5. Make sure that you have that example written down. If you need to rewind the video and rewatch it, that's okay. If you multiplied straight across, you would have gotten 24/30 and then had to divide by 6, which is okay to do, but it takes a little bit longer time if these numbers were bigger. Okay, so you try these, and I'll be back in just a second to show you what I did. You should have a red pen ready, and you should have shown how you kept and then changed. Okay, so here's what I did. I kept the 2/3, I changed the division, and I changed this fraction. 2 can't be simplified by 3, but it can be simplified by 2. So I'm left with 1 in both of these spots and 10/3. Now I can divide 10 by 3, and it goes in evenly 3 times. Remember, if you need to brush up on this, you can always rewatch what I'm doing. So I took 3 times 3 to get 9. 10 minus 9 is 1. So I have 3 remainder of 1/3. Whatever's left over my number that I'm dividing by. So 3 and 1/3 is my answer. Over here, now I have 4/18 times 9 over 1. So 4 times 9 over 18 times 1. And I can recognize that 9 and 18 both share a 9 in common. And then 4 and 2 share a 2 in common. So I'm left with 2 over 1, or just 2. Down here, first make sure that you put your 3 over 1 and bring down your 9/10. You're then going to multiply by 1/3. So you get 9 times 1 over 10 times 3. 9 and 10 don't share anything, but 9 and 3 do. They share a 3 in common, which goes into 9 3 times and goes into itself once. So I'm left with 3/10, and that is simplified. Okay, so let's look at mixed numbers. First, use the C method to make this whole number into 3 pieces. We want to take our 3 circles and cut them into thirds. So really I have 3 times 3 or 9 plus 1. So really I have 10 thirds. Again, I took 3 and I cut them into thirds, 3 times 3, plus the 1/3 that I had left over. So this looked like 9 thirds plus the 1/3, which is 10 thirds. Bring down my 2/3 of my division sign. Now I'm going to keep change. So I have 2/3 times 3/10, and I'm multiplying my numerators with my numerators and denominators with denominators. So 2 and 3, nope, but 2 and 10 work. So 2 goes into 2 once and into 10 5 times. 3 goes into 3 once each, so I'm left with 1/5. Over here, 2 and 5/8, 2 times 8 is 16, plus 5 is 21 over 8, divided by 4/7. So I'm going to keep change, and I get 21 times 7 divided by 8 times 4. Now, 21 and 8 don't share anything, 7 and 8 don't share anything, 21 and 4 and 7 and 4 don't share anything. So we just have to multiply straight across. This is where that green sheet would come in handy. 21 times 7 is 147, the multiplication sheet I meant. 8 times 4 is 32. So now I have to divide 147 by 32. Let's think about something a little easier, like 30 and 140. I know that 30, 60, 90, 120, so let's try 4. We'll put it in black just in case I have to erase it. 4 times 2 is 8, and 4 times 3 is 128, and that looks like it might work. So 147 minus 28. Well, I can't take 7 minus 8. So I can think of it as a 17 and this 4 as a 30 instead of a 40. So 17 minus 18 is 9, and 30 minus 20 is 10, and 100 minus 100 is 0. So I get 19, and 19 is smaller than 32, so I have 30 seconds left. Okay, so now your turn to try these. I'll be back in just a second to show you what I did. You should have paused the video and wrote these two down. Let's call this one A, so write A and circle it, and B and circle it. You should have done the C method. To get 7 thirds, you take 2 times 3 to get 6, plus 1 is 7, divided by 5 over 1. Keep, change, and 7 times 1 over 3 times 5. Nothing can be simplified, so I get 7 over 15, and I'm done. Over here, we put the 5 over 1 again and do the C method. So 5 over 1 divided by 1 times 3 is 3, plus 1 is 4 thirds. And we're going to keep, change. And 5 times 3 over 1 times 4. Nothing can be simplified, so we get 15 over 4. But that's improper. So 4 goes into 15 3 times, because 3 times 4 is 12, and we get 3 left over. So 3 3/4. Let's look at some word problems. Theo has 5 2/3 candy bars, so let's write that down in our notebook. Go ahead and do that with me. He wants to cut them into 1/6 pieces, so he's dividing. How many pieces does he have? Go ahead and pause the video and try this one. Okay, so the first step is to change that 5 2/3 into an improper fraction. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 2 is 17 thirds, divided by 1/6. So we keep change, and we know that 17 and 3 don't share anything, but 6 and 3 do. 3 goes into 6 twice and into itself once. So we're left with 17, which is really a 10 times 2, and a 7 times 2, or use your multiplication chart. We get 20 and 14, or 34 over 1, which is just 34. And that's all I have for you. See you next time.